Next, we have Barbara Elliott. How many customer service reps are out here? Okay, let's give it up, customer service reps. Let's hear you. There's 125,000 customer service reps in CWA, not just in telecom, wireline and wireless, but in airlines and cable TV and newspaper publishing. Barbara works for a contracting company called ACS that does the customer service work for E-ZPass, which at least in this part of the country, when you're cruising up and down the road, allows you to go through toll lanes. And she'll tell her own story, but we should imagine that this is the story of customer service in this country. Because while some of us may have come into a union workplace and others organized it, places like AT&T Mobility with neutrality and card check, there's nothing like neutrality and card check at ACS. And obviously, the bargaining we do in the customer service jobs is very much tied to the non-union majority in those occupations. So this is our fight, not just Barbara's, and her local has been committed to this for as long as it takes. Barbara Elliott from ACS in Staten Island, New York.
Greetings, brothers and sisters in CWA. My name is Barbara Elliott, and I work in Staten Island, New York for a non-union company called ACS, or Affiliated Computer Services. ACS is a call center that runs the E-ZPass transportation system for the state of New York. I have worked in the correspondence department for ACS for over 8 years. ACS pays the majority of us only about $13 an hour. The health benefits are out of reach for most of us, and even though ACS is still making huge profits, they just stopped paying into our 401k. To make matters worse, my company is about to change the way we are compensated within our paychecks in a way that we will be taking a giant step backwards to the bad old days of the 1930s. ACS wants to pay us what they call piecework. This means we will never have a steady bi-weekly income as we currently do. That's right, ACS is trying to institute what they call activity-based compensation, or ABC. ACS has started to roll out this ABC pay scheme around the country, and it can mean a drop in pay as low as minimum wage for most employees. In this year, 2009, for a profitable call center to say they want to pay us per piece is unacceptable and it's un-American. In October last year, my coworkers and I decided we had had enough. We decided to do what we thought we had the right to do, which is to form a union. We thought that our laws protect workers like us who wanted to form a union. We thought our laws allowed for a speedy union election. And we thought that ACS would have to respect our choice to organize. We also thought that ACS cannot lie to us, cannot intimidate us, cannot spy on us. However, we thought wrong. In early October 2008, with the help of CWA Local 1102, we began to organize. Over 30 of us joined the CWA Organizing Committee. We signed a mission statement and began getting our coworkers to sign up for the union. Within a few days, over 70% of the workers in Staten Island call center signed cards to join CWA, and many of us proudly wore our CWA buttons to work. Within 48 hours of beginning our campaign, ACS started fighting back, and they fought back dirty. ACS began making lists of people wearing CWA buttons. They hired anti-union law firms to try and kill our union campaign. Despite this, we were undaunted. We expected to have an election within 42 days, which is what the law provides, at least on paper. On December 22nd, the union asked for an election from the National Labor Relations Board. ACS attorneys forced a lengthy hearing at the board. They argued that all ACS employees throughout the entire state of New York should have to vote in any election. After days of hearings, the Labor Board took several months to issue a decision. During this legal delay, ACS was allowed to try and bust our union. They held dozens of forced meetings where they lied to us about dues, about strikes, and about CWA. They told us CWA just wanted our money and our wages could go down and CWA could fine us and force us to strike. The anti-union campaign got very, very intense and very heated. They accused CWA of slashing tires without a shred of evidence. They accused CWA of being corrupt and violent, and they strongly encouraged people to wear anti-union buttons. They warned some of us not to bite the hand that feeds you. Despite all this intimidation, we held strong. Many of us wore red every Thursday. ACS soon began separating those wearing red into meetings away from our co-workers. In addition to isolating the pro-union workers, they flew in executives from Texas to make more threats. Even the CEO of the company, Lynn Blodgett, and I just want to throw in, working there 8 years, that was the first time I ever met him in person. He flew in there before the election. They also started to force one-on-one meetings with us where our supervisors was free to further intimidate us and frighten us, and then fear-grip many of our co-workers. And I also want to say that my company always says that we're family. We don't need CWA. But to me, what family intimidates you and frightens you? CWA reps, of course, could not meet with us at work. The company made it near impossible for any pro-union worker to get out of our seats and discuss the union with co-workers. When we left flyers in the break room, they quickly removed them. All this in the United States of America. Who could call this a fair process? Who could call this election process legitimate? 1 week before our election, ACS requested that the Labor Board in Washington review the decision to allow the election to proceed. And even though we had our election on May 28th, 8 full months after we started, our ballots have been impounded by the Labor Board, thanks to this latest management delay. However, we just learned yesterday that the Labor Board will finally open up and count our ballots this Friday. But it has taken far too long joining CWA. It shouldn't have taken as long as a pregnancy. The pregnancy is usually 9 months. What have I learned from all this? Our laws don't protect workers like me. The company controls virtually every aspect of the election process. They control the timing of the election. They control all the significant details of the election. And after literally dozens of forced meetings, they know full well who is voting for and who is voting against the union. And so when I hear that companies like ACS are fighting against the Employee Free Choice Act, claiming they are trying to uphold the legitimacy of secret ballot elections, I want to scream. How can any of these companies say they are trying to protect our rights? How can they threaten us with one hand, spy on us with the other, and then spend millions on TV ads claiming they believe in a free and fair election? They don't want a free and fair election. They want a farcical election with a heavy dose of fear. If the Employee Free Choice Act was law, my 300 co-workers would have been members of CWA months ago. We would have had a contract in place already. We could have had a shot in joining the middle class. It has now been 9 months since we first tried to join the union, your union, as we await a decision by the Labor Board. Our lives at Easy Pass hang in the balance. When the ballots are counted this Friday, hopefully, and I'm gonna say I know we'll win, I can make this promise to you all. In New York, there will be 300 more people wearing red on Thursdays. 300 more people joining COPE. And 300 more people fighting to ensure that workers like me have the right to join CWA without fear or intimidation. Employee Free Choice Act, yes. freedom to join unions? Yes. The CWA,